Hi, everyone. Please remember to state your name and outlet before asking a question. Vika, can you talk about the match today?
Really deserving final match. There was a lot of incredible moments, a lot of fight. I think we both gave it all out there. I think that's what you wish for the final. The outcome was not in my favor today, but overall, I thought it was an incredible match. And I can take a lot of positive out of this last 2 weeks. And of course, congratulations to Paula. She really played well today.
First question for Karen. Karen, we can't hear you.
Can't hear anything.
Let's move on to Craig Gabriel.
Craig Gabriel here in Indian Wells. It was extraordinary tennis, and for many watching, probably the women's match of the year. What did it feel like actually being in the middle of a match like that?
Um, I would agree with comparing it to a match of the year. I think the entire match, the quality of tennis was super high level. We were both going for our shots, really pushing each other to the max, and I think that's what uh, made it super entertaining. That competitive spirit, really fighting for every ball, not giving in anywhere. So it's very challenging to maintain that, but I think that we both did that really well.
Was it just too intense of a situation during the match for you to enjoy what was actually going on as much as we were able to enjoy watching it?
Well, I think you do enjoy the fight, but in the moment, it's more about focusing on what you have to do. So I don't think you have really time to pay attention of what it really feels like. I think that actually will take your focus more away. So it's about being in the moment and not necessarily analyzing the moment. I think that what makes it um what how it makes it feel out there.
Thank you.
Mm.
Next question for Courtney.
Hi, Vika. Congrats on a great match and a great fortnight. Courtney Nguyen, WT Insider. I just wanted to get your sense as to where you thought the match maybe tactically, what worked against her? What did you find that she adjusted against you? What ultimately do you think made the difference today?
Well, I think that she was very solid in the important moments. I had some opportunities, and I created a lot of opportunities as well. She stayed strong. Overlooking the match, I think in the first set I could have been a bit more aggressive, where I feel like I let her play a little bit more the game she likes in some moments, and and then in the second set I really adjusted that. And the third set it was going back and forth, and she also played more aggressive. So I think that first set I could adjust a bit better, and I think moving forward, hopefully we'll meet again where I can try to challenge a little bit better.
Was it your sense at all? I mean, this was her first kind of maybe big showcase on a big court against a great champion that a lot of people would have been paying attention to. I mean, and it was your first time you played her. So what was your kind of general sense on her game? I know you probably scouted her before, but getting out there, weight of shot, ball, did anything surprise you in playing with her?
Really, the physicality was very strong from her today, and she really did maintain a very high level throughout the whole match. So I would say those two things were pretty challenging today. And sometimes it's you can be more nervous playing in your first big final. Sometimes you are a bit more free, and I felt that today she was playing really free. I haven't obviously played against her before, so it's harder for me to say that. But throughout the match there were moments where she was going for it. And so I don't know if it was in advantage or not, but she definitely pulled out some incredible tennis today.
Next question for Andrew.
Hi, Victoria. Andrew John, Desert Sun newspaper. I just want to tell you this is actually the longest women's final ever at Indian Wells, and it's the longest women's match of any kind this year. But the two of you seem to be not really fazed by that. Is that fair to say, or was it pretty exhausting out there? And if you could talk about physically and mentally.
Well, I think they both come together. I think if you kind of give in mentally, physically, it becomes even harder. But I wouldn't necessarily say that we weren't really unfazed by it. I think it just in the moment, this is what you have to do, is keep fighting for one more point. It's the adrenaline is there. I think after the match, when you ask her or me, was it challenging physically? Of course it was, but I'm actually very happy that I was able to at the same time maintain that level of fitness of my game throughout over 3 hours. So that's a really positive sign, and I actually motivates me to keep moving forward, because this year has been challenging a bit physically, but kind of finishing on a strong note with not necessarily the result that I wanted, but with the progress that I wanted to seek. That's really positive.
Next question for Bill Simons.
Just pretty much, well, first of all, Becca, congratulations. Just go a little bit further on just the comment you had. What do you think you can take from this great battle, strong finish after a kind of a tough year? What are the things you think you can take from it, and even in defeat somehow does it give you some satisfaction that you had such a great run here?
Well, I've been talking that I've been looking to implement some of the changes into my game. I have done that well today. I think that throughout these 2 weeks, I've been improving little by little those things that I wanted to do. So those are the things that I actually want to take out into the this off season, work on it, and bring it even hopefully better next season. But the most important for me was to also see for myself that physically it's I'm there, I'm ready to play as long as it's needed, match after match. And I think that was a bit of a challenge, as I said before, for me during the year physically, with some injuries. So it's time to rest, train smart, and no quarantine in Australia for me.
Karen, would you like to try asking your question again?
Sure. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So again, congratulations. A lot of heart played today. Didn't mention from women's tennis blogs, so backtrack. In the match in the third set at 2-0, when you went for the break, what was your self-talk like at that point? That was such a pivot.
Not necessarily much of self-talk. Just short words of encouragement. I think that's what really is all there is to say. There's not going to be a long conversation. There's not going to be a debate, or too much analyzing the game is too quick. So it was just normal words of encouragement. 2-0 is not a favorable position, but it's not the end of the match. So no matter what the score is, I'm going to fight until the last point. And everybody knows that. All my opponents know that. And I know that too. So that doesn't change for me. The score is not going to change my attitude.
And then one quick follow-up. With Paula's victory today, such a big moment for her, do you recall what it was like for you to win the first time here in the desert?
Well, I think when I won here in the desert was in 2012, right? 2012. So I've won already a Grand Slam, which not necessarily made this achievement any smaller, but it was not, I think, my first big tournament. I've won Miami before, so I think that's a little bit different, and I'm still was very excited about it. But I don't think it was maybe as big of a moment as it is probably for her today.
And last question for Reem.
Hi, Vika. This is Rima Boulel from the National UAE. Vika, she had some really nice words for you on the court, and I'm wondering, what does it mean for you to be facing opponents who are telling you that you inspired them to play and things like that?
Honestly, very touching, and I think that's also part of my motivation also to play is to inspire people to be in our sport, and not necessarily in our sport, to go after their careers, and keep pushing the boundaries for women in sports and careers anywhere. So it's very touching, and it's always important is to be a good player, a better person off the court. And if I inspire people with my tennis, that's only it's only even more motivating for me to keep doing what I'm doing. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.